but there's no trailhead here. There's no parking, nothing. This is just like a trail lost in time. So I guess it is still kind of a strange and weird trail because of the circumstances surrounding it.
This video adventure brings me back to Laurel Run, Pennsylvania, a town famous for both the Giant's Despair hill climb, but more so for the underground mine fire that still burns today. During my most recent visit in January 2025, I stumbled upon a trail that was actually a former railroad line. I knew that I wanted to explore it and to see what's left of it today, but I needed to return in the warmer months on an e-bike so I could cover ground more efficiently.
So I'm here today with an e-bike, which I will talk more about later on in the video. But before we continue, let's learn a little bit more about this line. If you're ready, all you need to do is come along with me.
The line was used by both the C&J, Central Railroad of New Jersey, which started in 1866, and the Lehigh and Susquehanna Railroad, which operated between the 19th and 20th centuries. On the Rail Guide app, the early owner shows Lehigh and Susquehanna, with C&J being the classic or more active user of the line. It's also stated that the C&J often leased lines from L&S. This particular branch line came from the Ashley Yards, which I covered in a previous video. The branch line came straight through Laurel Run, right past the mine fire area. After passing through Laurel Run, it then headed north and came close to present-day Seven Tubs, and then circled around the mountain and came south, eventually heading through Whitehaven on its way to Jim Thorpe. Looking on these older map images, the old rail bed is clearly visible, and it looks like towards our ending point, a bridge going over the tracks existed at one point, so we'll be on the lookout for that. But today, much of the area has been altered and reclaimed by nature. Funny enough, this is actually labeled as part of the D&L Rail Trail on some maps, which I didn't even know about until I was doing research for this video, but it's come to be one of the strangest and weirdest trails I've ever documented, as there's no official signage or trailhead. So what are we going to find today? That's a great question, and there's only one way to find out. So let's get started.
Now that we have a better background understanding of what used to run through here, we can head over to the line and start following it to see what we may or may not find. Now, this is not the actual line yet. It would be off to the left, I think a few hundred feet. But it's not really existent over there, it's just woods. But this is going to take us to a familiar spot, which we will take a little pit stop at. Show you a couple of things I had documented before, and then that's going to bring us in close proximity to the actual rail bed. This is also my first time biking back here. Even though I've been back here numerous times, I've always been on foot. But since I knew I needed to expand my search and go beyond the normal areas, well, that's why I opted to bring an e-bike today. We're coming out to a power lines area, as you can see, and even though it's a summer day, we should still be able to see some evidence of what's going on beneath the ground. Now, this area, as you can tell, is for the most part pretty barren. A lot of dry grass, not a whole lot of trees here, a lot of exposure. That's because these are some of the fissures or vents for the underground mine fire. And although I don't see steam, I'm pretty sure we're gonna be able to feel it. So let me come over to some of the areas where I remember steam was coming out, like right here. And I'm pretty sure it's gonna feel hot. Yep, the heat's still there. Actually, I will stick you guys in there with my camera, and most likely it's gonna fog it up. Yep, immediately it got fogged up. So fire's still burning today. I did bring my temperature gun last time. Oh, actually, right here, we could see the steam coming out. Just barely, a couple little wisps of it. But when I did bring my temperature gun, I got readings, I think I remember like mid 100s. It was under 200. Some pockets were hotter than others. But you can see there's some holes here, which are called fissures. And that's why this fire won't burn out on its own. It always has an oxygen source. And underneath this whole area here, veins of coal and plenty of fuel. But there is one more thing up here I do want to show you, which was a new discovery for me when I was here back in January. We just came from back there where the fissures and vents are. Came down this dirt road here, which is basically an old coal bed. And although this does look like a rail bed, it is not. I'm able to confirm it on my rail guide app. My positioning, we are just to the right of it. The actual rail line is over in that direction. I believe we can get to it going over there somewhere. There should be a trail cutting down to it, which I remember. So the reason we stopped here though, which we may still investigate that road, is back here was my bonus discovery, brand new for my latest visit here, where I stumbled upon something that I didn't even know existed. And it is right off here to our right. And right there, it involves darkness. Looks considerably different from last time I was here, because I was here in the winter, obviously. All the growth was down. Things are a lot more visible. But again, I've been back here numerous times, but I just found this accidentally on my most recent exploration back in January. Just to give you a brief look at it, different layers of arched brick. And as we do come inside, there's evidence of chutes off to the left. And some bracketing coming down from the ceiling as well. We believe this might be possibly a kiln, maybe remnants of the boiler house. And this is like the subterranean part where the most of the structure would be above us. But the brickwork is outstanding. And it was a really awesome discovery just to find this kind of pure stroke of luck when I was here last time. We did go up and around it. I'm not going to bother showing that today. So if you do want to see more of that location, just check the linked video down below in the description. Right now, I'm going to get back to the bike, find our connection down to the rail bed, and then start progressing from there, because I'm also going to track the journey not only in video but on the Relive app, and I don't want to start that until we're actually on the rail line. That'll give us a map readout and accurate distance that we have traveled. Just confirmed it. We are now officially on the C&J rail bed. So what I did is I backtracked from where we were, came down to the power line trail, came down a little bit, hung a right, and brought me right onto the rail bed. Obviously the rails are gone. I don't see any ties, nothing as far as first impressions go of anything being left behind of actual rails. Not to say that there's not. We might find them off to the sides. We may find spikes, plates, hardware. But I'm going to look out for other things like foundations and bases and poles and markers and stuff like that. We're going to follow this the entire way till we could go no further. It's going to be basically like a big loop, as we saw. I will give you some stopping points for some highlights, showing you like where we are near the Seven Tubs area. Right now, let's get started documenting a rather strange and weird potential rail trail here in Pennsylvania. Now, honestly, we already know fall, especially winter, is the best time to come because of the best visibility to potentially see something laying on the ground or off to our sides. But I do a pretty good job of paying attention to things and looking around and keep my head on a swivel. So I think if something is out here, we will find it. And I'm gonna take it slow and easy. I'm gonna be using mostly just throttle, keeping it under 10 miles an hour so that we have a good opportunity to spot something. And obviously, based on trail conditions, it's not gonna be suitable for going much faster in certain areas. And right up here, I believe, is where I actually stumbled upon this on foot back in January. So this area we kind of covered briefly when I was here, but where we just started and beyond this is gonna be brand new for me. But off to the right is a big embankment. I did scale down that on foot. It brought me right down here. So we can continue on now, heading north, and we'll see what our next finding could possibly be. It's getting a bit more thicker the further we're going back. And the one thing I did read too while doing research is that this is potentially going to be an official rail trail that's going to have connections, I believe, to Mountaintop. I guess they're working on easements and property rights and everything like that. Now right here, I could tell the line continued straight, but the trail does not. I can't ride through that. We need to follow the trail. Hopefully it will bring me back to the actual rail bed, but right now we are diverting off of it. And thankfully this is a dual motor bike, so I could handle some of this rougher, steeper terrain without an issue. Oh, you know what? This might be the trail we were just on, where we stopped to look at that furnace area. We are on a trail paralleling it, but I'm hoping we'll pick back up with it. But looking on the rail guide map, looks like the trail kind of diverges off in certain areas, and then it picks up with the actual rail bed further down. So I think there's going to be a couple spots ahead, especially closer to the highway, where the rail line went really close to the highway, but the trail that we're going to be riding is further away. Most likely the actual rail bed in certain areas is just either non-existent or impenetrable. So we're just going to do what we can, but it looks like at least further ahead, once we do get past the highway and stuff, which is going to be like the on-ramp, off-ramp for 81, we should be 100% following the rail line all the way to our stopping point right there by Oliver Mills and the other side of East Northampton Street. With the amount of ground I'm covering today, not to say I couldn't do it on foot, but it would take me all day and be for a rather boring experience. So I'm happy to be able to have this with me today to cover this rail line. Okay, that's a bit better. We're back to smoother, more manageable terrain. Oh, 2 deer just ran up the hill there. Sorry, deer. Just passing through. Now, those of you watching who may be familiar with this line or just had more knowledge than me, let me know if this was a single or dual line coming through here. Some areas do look wide enough for 2 tracks, some don't. And I do hear traffic off to the left. That's obviously Interstate 81. So the closer we get to that, the louder it's going to get, then we should be getting away from it, obviously getting quieter. So here is just another example. I'm not going to keep showing this to you, but just to show you, since we do have it right in front of us, the rail line continued right here. We know that for a fact. Looks like maybe even a rock cut section, but the actual trail we're riding and able to follow is diverting around it. So depending on how this pans out and depending on feedback, I may or may not return in the winter to walk these off-beaten areas. It may be for nothing, who knows, but we'll see later on in the video if we think it's worth venturing back for these somewhat off-limit areas. Made a little bit more progress and we're coming up to a bit of a clearing up here and a fence line, and I'm believing, which I'll double check, I think the on-off ramps for 81 are down to our left. So where the blue dot is, but the rail line is showing to our left, closer to the on-ramp. While I cover some more ground, get away from the noisy area, I do want to play a short video for you that I filmed while I was in West Virginia with a bunch of friends. And we actually rode a newer section of the Greenbrier River Trail. It was a great e-bike riding experience, and I used the same camera I'm filming with right now, my 360 camera, to get kind of a unique, fun look at certain areas of that trail. So feel free to check that out right now. '81's now farther behind us, and just to check once again, not that we need confirmation of the map, but I like to kind of cross all my T's, dot the I's. 100%, this is what the rail bed should look like, and this is indeed a nice long straight section. So we were searching for this, and even though we were riding on sections of the rail bed, this is more iconic, more what we're used to, more recognizable. So I'm kind of happy to see this. Actually, I'm really happy to see this. I just hope it does continue and doesn't just give us a teaser of a section. But here though, it certainly looks flat enough, wide enough for multiple lines. And the only other downfall is that they ripped up and removed everything. I mean, aside from a few stray ties, there's not a whole lot left. Oh, look it. Now this looks like a proper rail trail. Huh. I'll be damned. Must be some of the progress they've made. This is really similar to the D&L Trail sections near Whitehaven and Jim Thorpe, which we know this line did continue down there, but packed, crushed granule surface, nice and flat. This looks like recently done, probably maybe this year or late last year. But now we know why it's such a weird, strange trail, because where we started was kind of the unfinished, unworked area. So now I can actually do some pedaling. I don't have to worry about getting jostled around with all the rocks and sticks and boulders. But this is much better. There's still random trails. So I'm definitely going to be coming back in the fall or winter to retrace my steps and do some more poking around, because this area looks quite inviting. I've said it before in some videos, certain areas call my name and I was drawn to them. I didn't know why. And now that I'm back here, this area I feel is calling my name and saying, come back. So usually when that happens, I'm right. I'm supposed to be there for a reason. And there's no point in going against that now. Oh, there's deer up here. Oh, 2 baby deer. Oh, there's the mother. Yeah, they were just down here snacking on the foliage here. So, opportunities to see wildlife back here is pretty good as well. Now, another thing I do know, which I don't have much details on, but I have heard it brought to my attention and I've read briefly about it, is an area called Mountain Park that used to exist somewhere around this area. I don't know if it was closer to where we are or if it was up behind Seven Tubs, but I guess a type of park used to exist a long time ago. Never made a video on it. I don't know all the details, but you're also welcome to do your own Google research. But a place called Mountain Park did exist somewhere in this area, and we got a big hill to climb here, so let me kick it up a notch. Some fencing too on the left, as we can see. A lot of open areas as well. Yeah, I think this was probably done in the last year or so. It's not new for this year. I do see a lot of drainage areas. Wow, this just keeps going. Beautiful. Oh, look at the deer. 2 just crossed, 2 to the right. This place is packed full of deer. I think we've come across about 7 or 8 of them so far. Maybe even 9 or 10. Aha! Official sign. Okay, so this trail is not so strange and weird after all. This is our first official marker or post. D&L Trail to Bristol. All right, now it's official. And this area is absolutely gorgeous. We have a mountain on our right-hand side, climbing a steep elevation. Big flattened out area here. Some trails and culm material off to our left. And the skies are amazing. I'm really enjoying this now. I'm glad I decided to do this. I'm wondering now how close we are to Seven Tubs. We're still going straight, And I think when we start curving around to the right is where we're going to be close to 7 tubs. So once we do get close to that area, we'll get some confirmation of that on the maps. But I don't think anyone's been back here in a long time. All the deer are out here along the trail, and I don't think many people know this even exists yet. This was just a random finding for me back in January, and then to know that this is a proposed actual rail trail that's not official yet, I think this is under the radar. D&L Rail Trail Wilkes-Barre Mountain Section Phase 1, Plains Township and Laurel Run Borough. Funding assistance have been provided by the Pennsylvania Recreational Trails Program, Federal Highway Administration, and Bureau of Recreation and Conservation. Now, my question once again, where does this go? Why is there a gate there and the gate's open? Is that trail access, a trailhead? And are we supposed to go left or right? Looks like the actual trail probably continues to the right. I don't want to venture down. I'm curious, but I think we're supposed to stick to the right. And if we do, that's the way the rail line's going. So we're going to go with my hunch. We're supposed to stay right, but more and more reasons to come back here in the future. All right, good news. We are back on track. So if we went left through that gate, it would have took us in a whole different area where all these white lines are. Actually, that would have connected down going towards the old reservoir. Now I know where that goes because I've been down there before. And I remember seeing an access road and someone told me if I turned there, it would have brought me up here. So I do know where that access goes. It'll take you down to Old Bear Creek Boulevard, which will take you right into 7 tubs. But we are now, after coming up this little twisty, spirally turn hill, which it was a hill, it went like an S-turn curve. We are officially on the rail bed, and it's officially marked as the D&L Trail. So I'm going to screenshot this for you just so we could have it documented. We could see exactly where we are, progress we've made, and not much further ahead will be 7 tubs. Beautiful section here. Oh, here's a rock cut. Now we're talking. Look at this. This is official. Let's see. Where's our drill markings at? We should be able to find some. Let's investigate. Now, if you needed a clear example of what a rail line used to look like after the rails are gone, this is it. Nice, sweeping curve to the right. Big rock faces on both sides of us. Only thing I'm not seeing yet are our familiar drill markings where they drilled and blasted. Probably going to find them further up. Just in this section here, they're not so clearly evident. Don't see them just yet. But I've said before at other locations, oh, there's no drill markings. Next thing you know, I find them. So this is a big rock cut section. If I was to guesstimate the height here, that is probably, let's say 35 feet tall. I feel like really protected. It's like no one knows you're here unless they were to see you from above. Nice water dripping through the moss here. It's gonna get filtered. Probably bottle that and drink it. And off to the left here is a little gully area where water is collecting, but look what I found. Right here in front of us. Our drill marking. And that is a good sized drill bit that went through that. That's about twice the width of a normal drill cut that I see. So they do exist. They are here, just far and few between, but they use some massive drill bits to drill through this rock. But this is a really gorgeous area. And I'm fascinated by how nature adapts, because look at these trees. They're growing right out of the rock face, basically defying gravity. Then you have these root systems coming right down here, soaking up the water on the ground. That is incredible. Love stuff like that. And look at the, I'm getting excited by nature here. The gorgeous nature's carpet though. It's just so spongy. Hopefully you can see like how that's moving. And we just got water dripping down. I don't know why, I just find it fascinating how nature can adapt to its environment and situations. Absolutely in love with this area. Figure it's a good place to take a break and talk to you guys for a little bit about today's mode of transportation. If you do wish to skip this part of the video, just go to the timestamp on the screen to continue with today's adventure. But today we're checking out something brand new to me by a company I've never worked with before. The company is Tuttio, if that's how it's pronounced, Tuttio. This is the Adrea 26 dual motor mountain bike. I'm going to do things a little bit differently than I've done in the past. I'm going to tell you my pros and cons up front. I'm going to go over some of the specs, and based on these trail conditions, we should be able to do a higher speed run test. So right off the bat, I'm going to tell you what I don't like. Number one, the seat. The seat, I will say, is nice and wide, plenty of surface space, not a whole lot of cushion. So I'll give the seat probably, I'll say a 3 out of 5. I'm giving it a 3 based on the width of it, but it's not thick enough. So I would probably have to do a seat upgrade to a Cloud 9 if I was gonna ride this long distances. The other thing I don't really care for, and it's more or less just getting used to it, is obviously this has big, large tires. When you are pedaling or your pedals in the front position like this, you can hit your foot with the tire or fender. I've done it a couple times. I actually have some dirt on the fender here, so you have to make sure your feet are in the proper orientation if you are turning. So if you are turning to the left, you're not going to want to have this foot forward. You're going to want to have it to the back. So it's just a little bit of thinking ahead. And if you do bump it, I mean, it's not a big deal, but it does stand out that it does get bumped. The last thing I don't like, which is no fault of the bike, it's just this style of bike alone. I'm not a big fan of this style. Although it's a great aggressive mountain bike style, I personally don't like leaning forward, having a lot of pressure and weight on my hands and wrists. Makes it an uncomfortable ride for me long term. But that's no fault of the bike. That's just me, personal preference. And that's me really nitpicking about the bad things. This bike has a lot of great things. A couple of things off the bat though is it actually comes with a pair of keys. 2 keys. One, to unlock the battery, to remove it. The other is for a keyed ignition. This bike cannot power on without the key turning the on position of the ignition. Great security feature right there. Dual motors, as we've seen so far, it's been climbing some steep hills, handling rugged terrain, has full suspension, and it's actually almost more power than I need even in pedal assist 1. Although the throttle is nice and responsive, when you're pedaling though, there's a little bit of a delay, and then the power kicks in and gets you up to top speed. The other thing too is that the throttle is proportional to the pedal assist mode. So when you're in pedal assist 1, you're only going to go top speed that pedal assist 1 allows you to go. To go max speed on this bike, you want to have it in pedal assist 5 and in dual motor. The other fantastic feature I love, and I think more dual motor bikes should have this, is just a single button design right here. One button for single and dual mode. I've had some bikes, or I should say one bike in particular called Bigfoot, where I actually had to come to a complete stop, go into the sub menu to change from front to rear to auto. Although it was a great bike, that was a big deterrent for me. It's like, it's an inconvenience. You have to come to a stop. You can't do it on the fly. My Aoki A8, I think there's a frog or a toad over there croaking. My Aoki A8 dual motor, it can be done on the fly. I have to hit the power button twice to flip between single and dual motor. That's a lot easier, but this is the easiest. One button, and whether you're stopped or moving, you can switch from single to dual motor use. So with that out of the way, let's talk about some of the specs and features. So as we know, this is riding on large 26-inch by 4-inch wide fat tires. Handles the terrain like a beast. It's got pretty decent little knobby tires on them. Suspension handles it. I will say the suspension is not terrific. It's a little bit stiff for my liking. You can control the compression on it. I've seen bikes with better suspension, but at least it has full suspension, so I can't knock it too much. A little bit stiff though on some areas. Big, bright headlight over here. We do have electronic horn, dedicated headlight button, tail light / brake light. The battery is protected by the frame here, so the battery is on the inside here instead of the bottom, and you can remove it with your key, obviously, to charge it up. And the bike itself, with the battery, put the keys away, with the battery installed, weighs in at 82 pounds. So not a terribly heavy bike. It falls under the mark of 100 pounds that some regulations do have. But as far as more specifics, this is a 52 volt, 30 amp hour battery. It's a decent sized battery, which powers dual 2500 watt motors. So you have 5,000 watts of max power that this bike is able to give you. The controller is right inside here. There's ported holes there for ventilation and drainage. Comes standard with the rack, the fenders, and even comes with saddlebags. Although they're not mounted on here right now, it does come with them. So saddlebags are available. And it actually does come in a few color options. Make sure I don't get them incorrect here. Obviously, this is the orange one. It comes in black, blue, and also white. So multiple color options. I do like that the rims primarily have that color, gives it a nice pop. As far as range goes, estimated range is 100 miles. And well, again, that's estimated under optimal conditions. Realistically, you're looking probably around 60, 70 miles. And that's completely dependent on the rider's size, the terrain, and pedal assist use. If you're using mostly throttle, dual motors, going higher speeds, less range you're gonna get. If you're in single motor, pedaling most of the time, you're a lighter rider, flat terrain, you may get over 60, 70 miles. But to be fair, I would say on average, 60 to 70. But this can hold up to 330 pounds. So plenty of payload capacity, and overall, so far, it's functioning perfectly. But there are a couple more things I do want to show you, so come on over. So to power it on, we're going to put our key in there and come over to our controls, long press the power button, and there it is. Nice, bright, colorful display. You do have your battery gauge. It does not show percentage, but it does have your battery bars. Miles per hour, obviously. Pedal assist 1, obviously 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And you can go down to 0 for no pedal assist, just pedaling pure weight of the bike. Trip, so you can hit I and go through for odometer, max speed, average speed, voltage, and trip. Now the trip does keep count as you're moving. You can reset it manually, which I think is going to be through button control, but I don't want to reset it right now. But you can reset it for each ride if you want. Now you do have a headlight button here, but it doesn't turn on your headlight. What it does is it dims the screen. Gives you a headlight icon, so it's more or less just a dimmer for nighttime riding. Your dedicated headlight button is right there. So when we do press that, we do have a nice big headlight. One of the better headlights I've seen on bikes like this. Sometimes they look big and they just throw a little bit of light. This is a big bright light. Stay where you are. With a light around it and then the big beam in the middle. So plenty of lighting capacity for your evening, nighttime rides. Horns right here. There's your single dual motor button. So when it's pressed in, it's dual. When it's out, it's single. I wish there was some type of icon or visual confirmation showing you that you are in a particular motor. Not a big deal though. Just know if the button's out, it is single motor. When you do depress it while you're riding, there's about a 3-second delay until the motor does kick in. But when that's out, it's always on rear motor. So you can't only have just front, it's either rear or front and rear. Big bright tail light here. As I do hit the brake light here, you can see it illuminates. And even with the headlight off, still plenty of illumination. Let people know you are coming to a stop or slowing down. On the battery here, there actually is an on-off button right there. Charging port is right there if you want to charge it while it's on the bike. And then right here is your key slot. The battery cannot be removed unless you use your key to unlock it and slide it out. Handlebars are slightly adjustable. You can loosen those and you can see there's little tiny tally marks here. So you can raise or lower it a little bit. But again, it's still a mountain bike style. You are still facing forward. So just keep that in mind. It's only going to help so much. 7-speed Shimano system, half twist throttle. And again, you can ride this throttle only, but it's going to go according to which pedal assist mode you are in. Aside from that though, I don't really have much else to say. We're just going to do a little bit of riding right now, get you some footage of a higher speed run, get you some different angles of it, and see how the Adrea 26 performs under higher speeds. All right, I'm gonna attempt to do a higher speed run. I don't know if it's gonna be top speed just because it's not the best conditions, but we're gonna put in pedal assist 5, dual motor, throttle only. And don't forget, we have ridden for a few miles already, so the battery's not fully 100%, but still showing full bars. So just variables to keep in mind, but here we go, throttle only. Spinning the front tire. 21, 25, 27, let me get around this curve here. $30, 34, 37. Okay, I gotta slow down. Okay, that was getting too dicey. Going around that curve on loose gravel. We got up to 37. I feel confident this would hit 40. And just in case I forgot to mention, this does have hydraulic disc brakes for stopping power, and it brought me to a nice safe stop. But yeah, plenty of power, especially higher end power. Gets you going pretty fast in a short amount of time. I do want to thank 2DO for reaching out to me and allowing me the opportunity to review the Adrea 26, what I'm calling a rather budget-friendly dual motor e-bike. If you are looking to get into the e-bike world, especially dual motors, definitely consider the Adrea 26. There will be a link down below with additional details and the latest pricing, as the pricing does fluctuate according to the market, and sometimes you can even get it for a cheaper price during certain promotional offers. But thank you for listening to my spiel about today's mode of transportation. Now back to today's adventure. Looks like we're exiting the rock cut now. Okay, so down to the left somewhere down here should be 7 tubs. Gonna kind of go slow and keep my eyes peeled. It's gonna be hard to see, but I know there's water below us, far down there, which is why this railing and guardrail's here. But that water is coming from 7 tubs, so I know we're not too far away. Now, I didn't show it on camera, I did see 1 or 2 spots of some old graffiti as well, sprayed on the rocks. Looks like it's been there for a long time. It's pretty weathered, so before them turning this into what we're riding on today, I'm guessing it's more or less just a trail like we kind of started on. It was kind of rough and rugged and overgrown. Oh, you know what? It's not going to come through on camera unless I can find another clearing. Straight ahead through the trees, I do see reflections. Those are vehicles. That's the parking lot. I can almost guarantee if we get up further, we could probably hear either music or people, because people always seem to bring music there. Yep, I just heard a car beep, locking their car. All right, so we are across and above 7 tubs. To me, it's kind of unique. It's a whole different perspective of this area. Now, here's a big rock area, and what's this sign here? There's some graffiti here too. What is that? $1,000 reward for an excavator? Really? It's an old weathered sign, but yeah, it's I guess a stolen excavator. That's ambition. Yeah, some weird, I don't want to say weird, but different graffiti. Here's some older graffiti I was telling you about. This area is a bit more overgrown and reclaimed by nature. But I want to come up here and listen a little bit, because I think we're going to be able to kind of hear some of the activities down below. Yep. I can hear people. I can hear the water, but there's a lot of people down there. I can't believe it. As far away as we are from 7 tubs, but as close as we are, I could smell devil's lettuce from here. Somebody's down there smoking it up. And the smell is wafting all the way over here. Small chance it could be a skunk, but I can usually tell the difference because I can't stand the smell of devil's lettuce. Skunk smell, I actually don't mind too much. It's one of those weird smells that I kind of like. That, tar, like tar for sealing the roads, blacktop, gasoline, diesel smoke, coal smoke. Random smells I enjoy. Let me know if you have any random smells that you like as well. There's a drop off down to our left with a lower section of forest, and it climbs steeply on the right hand side, so we know we're around the other side of the mountain, around the other side of the loop, and that's basically what this line did. It made a big loop around the mountain. Oh, there's actually a bike station there with air pump. That's nice to see. Once this is officially open, this is going to be a great section for people to ride. And also, I don't know how it happened. When we started riding officially on the trail, I did start my progress on the Relive app. Well, I went to go pause it when I did the bike review, and it didn't give me the option to pause. It only gave me the option to start. Somehow, some way, some reason, it didn't record our progress. So what I'm going to do is, once we do come to our termination point, I'll start it there, ride it the entire way back, which actually would be more accurate because I was doing some riding back and forth, getting some footage and doing the test run. So the progress from where we turn around to where we go back to start is going to be more accurate, and all we'll do is we'll double that for the total distance. So you'll still be able to see the progress at the end. It's just going to be the opposite direction. Oh wait, was that a concrete post support? Yes, indeed it is. First one that we come across. Nothing significant by any means. The tower's gone. But that's still here, the foundation base of it. It's kind of highlighted with this red painted fence post and a rock with a ribbon around it. Well, I'm glad to see that. There's still something here. I was hoping for more, but at least it's better than nothing. Just turned around because on our left here, which was my right on the way, there's an older post here. And it's not your traditional looking post. It's almost like a teepee, minus the point on it, but wider at the bottom, narrower at the top, 4 sides to it. And it's a little bit off the side of the rail here, the rail bed. And maybe 100 yards past the other base that we saw. That one, I don't know what that's for. I don't know if that's rail related or not. There was a downed tree up here. This must have happened recently. There we go. Oh, there's railroad tracks off to your left. That's Reading and Northern. Okay, I know we're getting close now. Here's another concrete post right there to our right. So a couple little artifacts. This is really washed out here. Jeez. A couple little artifacts down this way. A couple ties off to the left. A couple newer culverts, small ones. They're concrete. And what the heck is this? What is that? There's a bunch of items over here. Actually, wait, I think I see a plate. I want to check this out. We're gonna make a pit stop. Crossed over the little creek ditch here. A couple items here. Pipe right here. There's remnants of a tie right there. Plastic, which I think larger piece here is part of either a front or a back bumper. There's something right back there too. Piece of metal framing. Rotted out barrel, but the thing that caught my attention was this triangular shaped piece of tin metal. But, oh yeah, here it is. Look at it. We got old spike and a plate. This is a top pocket find. Can't believe I said it that way. This is going to go back with me. Little keepsake souvenir. This almost looks like a type of, I don't know if it's like a hopper, where like that's supposed to be on the bottom. It's not like a chimney or a smoker or anything like that. I think this is upside down. That would be on the bottom. Stuff would maybe get loaded in from the open area, like a top type of hopper. I could speak. But there is a few more things too. There's water in it. I'm wondering how these items got here too. Like, I wonder if they were tossed from up above or tossed off to the side from where we're riding. But they're a good ways off. This might be a type of, is it a heater or air conditioner? There's the base of it. There's like the, ooh, there's worms there. That's where the Freon would be. I'm guessing that's maybe a floor model portable air conditioner. The kind you put the hose through the window. If it's not, let me know what it is. This jar right here. Oh, broken. Number 23 on the bottom. Don't really know what to make of this area. A little odd that these items are just right here, out of anywhere else that they could be. But if it wasn't for these items, we wouldn't have found our top pocket find and the plate. Obviously, these are not in the original location. They are probably just placed over here. Maybe somebody else found them. Looks like we are just about at the end. There's a property out to the left on the other side of the train tracks. It's overgrown severely up here. So there's a little side chute right here. I don't think we could go any further because there is a roadway ahead of us. So there's another artifact. So I'm guessing plans are to do one of two things, because the trail unofficially ends here for now. There's a big embankment. That's East Northampton Street right there above us. They either can make a tunnel through here to keep going, or they could divert to the right and maybe cross at a better, more appropriate area. But there also is a tunnel/bridge to our left, which is a vehicle going over right now. That's where Reading Northern goes through. So maybe they could possibly share that. I'm going to show you though where we are, just to kind of confirm. Yeah, we are right here. CNJ RNN is over there. And this is known as the Oliver Mills area, which is right here in Laurel Run. Oh, here's a signpost. 149.5. So that's the very first or last sign you'll come across, depending on which direction you're going. But there's no trailhead here. There's no parking, nothing. This is just like a trail lost in time. So I guess it is still kind of a strange and weird trail because of the circumstances surrounding it. It's built, at least part of it, but you can't go anywhere. Yeah, so right out here, yeah, we don't want to keep going. That's active Reading and Northern. They could possibly parallel a little side trail using the existing bridge. That's a possibility. Probably more feasible to do that than to bore a tunnel underneath the road to go through just for the trail. But if we were to keep going, It eventually take you towards Whitehaven. Well, first Mountaintop, then Whitehaven, then into Jim Thorpe area. And we have documented the DNL from Mountaintop all the way to, I believe, Weisport we've gone to. Did find one unearthed artifact. There is a base or foundation to something circular in design. Looks like it was buried, and now it's just laying there on its side. So, if you can't tell, we are back in Laurel Run. Right back there beyond the power poles, the steam vent I was showing you. And as you can see by the Relive app, well, we made it back one way 5.6 miles, which means round trip is going to be about 11 miles, give or take. With that being said though, the area between here and where the newly finished area starts, it's not fun, it's not enjoyable. My hands and arms are killing me because it's so rocky and rough, and there's a lot of like, not long but short but steep rocky areas of terrain. And I actually had a hard time, as you could tell, knowing if I was still on the rail line or not. There's a couple of variations where the trail veered off one direction or the other, but for the most part we were following the rail line, I'd say about 90% of the way within our capabilities and capacity, because obviously we can't ride if there's no trail there. The newly finished area is fantastic. I absolutely love it. When that's finished and open to the public, it's going to be phenomenal, and definitely a hidden gem of a trail here in Pennsylvania. Right now, I'm still dubbing this as a weird and strange trail, possibly the weirdest trail in Pennsylvania, just because it's partially finished, there's no access to it, and no one really knows about it except those who do happen to stumble upon it during research or word of mouth. I don't know what the plans are as far as phase 2, but phase 1, from what I can tell, is not complete yet because there's no official trailhead, there's no parking, there's no access to that trail unless you do what I did, which is come through here. And it's doable, but for the first few miles, it's not fun at all. The rock cut area by far was my favorite area. That big sweeping curve with the tall rock cuts. We saw the huge drill markings, gorgeous nature's carpet. And on my way back, there was one individual pushing a bike up one of the steep rocky areas. So I'm not alone back here, but obviously he's not on an e-bike. I was able to do it nearly the entire way. With that being said, the bike handled flawlessly. I don't really have any complaints other than just I'm a little bit sore from the seat and the seating position, but that's no fault of the bike. The first portion till we hit the finished area, I was using mostly throttle. And then when we were on the finished area, I was pedaling most of the time, and vice versa on the way back. So all said and done, we put in 11 miles roughly. I'm down one battery bar. And that was also me doing a high-speed run and some other footage I was getting. So I feel that this is doing really well for a dual motor bike. Definitely budget friendly, and those in the market for something like this with multiple color options, hopefully you consider it. And thanks again to the company for allowing me to use it in today's adventure. Definitely a future hidden gem. Still weird and strange about how this trail's almost finished, but sitting there, not accessible. So there's just a lot of things, strange things surrounding it. A little bit disappointed though, not a whole lot of things as far as artifacts left behind, But I do have my, well, now it's still a top pocket find. I don't have a top pocket up here. And in case you're wondering why I'm saying that, if you ever watched the television show Curse of Oak Island, the one guy, I forget his name, but he does the metal detecting for them. And every time he finds something exciting, he goes, "Oh, that's a top pocket find." So that was a clever way to put that. But the spike is going home with me as part of the old C&J LNS line here that we did document today. Would love to hear your thoughts on what you've seen in today's video and what we covered today. And especially want to thank you for coming along for today's a little bit weird and strange, but still enjoyable adventure. Otherwise, thanks for watching, and until next time, I'll see you in the next video.